Hello, and welcome to this YouTube video. I'm now welcoming you to Computer Studies Revision, whereby in front of our screen is Computer Studies Paper 2 that was done in the year 2022 by the class of 2021. Remember, in 2022, there were two examinations, one done in March and another one which was done later in December the same year. So if you are new to our YouTube channel, we normally post revision materials, especially related to computer studies, mainly paper 2. But nevertheless, we are not limited to only paper 2. We shall also be finding relevant material for us even in paper 1. Now, without much ado, karibuni sana, most welcome. Feel comfortable, and it's revision time. The paper before us is a computer studies paper 2, and instructions are just like usual. I will not take time going through these instructions. I believe you know them. And now, as usual, the paper has got 2 questions, as I have always advised you. In Form 2, you were taught how to use 4 different applications, 4 packages for that matter. And these are packages including word processing programs, spreadsheet applications program, then we have desktop publishing program, and then there was a database management program. Now the examiner is at liberty to pick any pair from those 4. In this particular examination, you find the first question is dealing with open a word processing program. So a word processor will be required. And then in question 2, I'm scrolling quickly, in question 2, they intend to use a database management system. So in question 2, we are going to use a database management system. Question 1, a word processor. And many teachers prefer using Microsoft Office suite. And in that suite, we have got Microsoft Word, we have got Microsoft Access, plus others. So the question that we have on the screen, we are going to tackle it using Microsoft Word. This is the question that I'm handling in this video. So stay with me. Step number 1, whenever we have a practical, I always advise my students to go to the desktop, an empty space, and then you create a new storage location, a new folder for that matter. So how? I right click and then choose new, and then choose folder for this matter. Then indicate what is your index number. That time you'll be given, the time you'll be sitting for your KCSE, you'll be given what they call a random number. So in this case, I have typed my random number. I've got my new folder here, and then I'm now opening it so that I can be able to prepare myself. Now, the first activity in part A, open a word processing program and type the following passage as it appears. Save the document as GIS1. This I'm going to do to avoid confusion. I always prefer starting from this area. That is, I will create my file from my folder and then open that file afterward. So I'm right clicking an empty space of my newly created folder, choose new, and then what? Microsoft Word document. There we have got an icon for my new file. The examiner says call it GIS1. Be careful, guys, about capitalization which appear in the file name. Numbers that appear in the file name. Be very keen so that you make sure that you do not lose marks for saving in the file name given. Now, having created a new file, I'm opening it by double clicking it, and then the computer will fetch the appropriate application to use, and there I am, right in Microsoft Word. Now, the activity, I'm going to have it on the left side. I don't know whether we are going to be able to comfortably work like that. I zoom out. As for you, my viewer, I do not want you to bother reading so much what is on the left. It's always just to give you, meant just to give you a rough idea of what we are doing, I've got the paper on my table, So I'll be referring to the paper on my table as you observe the activities that I'm doing on the right side, that is in Microsoft Word window. Now, before we do anything, let's set our house in order. After going through the paper, I noticed that there are some dimensions which we shall require to use centimeters. So I'm going to change my dimensions to centimeters by going to File, Options, File, Options, and then which one? We have got, is it the general? Yes, advanced, not general. Advanced options. Scroll down in Microsoft Word. Show measurements. I want to be very sure that measurements are in form of centimeters. If you have anything else, guys, just choose centimeters from this box and then say okay, the dimensions shall be in centimeters. Next, setting the paper size. The examiner did not tell us what paper size we shall use in the question paper. I've gone through it. There's no question which tells us what paper size to use. So therefore, that is in our own discretion, which paper size. Always the examiner will give us an A4 paper size. So under layout, guys, we go to size and then choose A4 paper size. Next thing, guys, is margins. Margins, I always prefer using normal margins. Normal margins are either 2.54 centimeters or 1 inch all round. 1 inch all round. Then what else do I need to set in order? If I start typing the computer, Microsoft Word here, we will use Calibri body font. But I want to use Times New Roman, guys. Times New Roman is the font to set, and then size, not 11. Always remember, size will always be size 12. I've set my house in order. Now I'm typing the heading that is given there. Purpose of geographical information systems. Purpose of geographical information systems. Then I pressed enter to begin a new paragraph down there, and then we type people want to understand their own individual. Your speed will be determined by how much exercise have you done prior to the examination. Do you just waste your time in the computer lab, or do you normally practice using the keyboard? So it's always good, guys, to remember to use the keyboard as often as possible. Okay, so by environment, let me not talk so much and type so much. We mean the geographical space of their own study area, and the events that take place. Okay, for example, so we say, for example, as on the paper. Then there is a numbered list here, which we type an urban planner. An urban planner may want to know about city population, traffic, etc. etc. Okay, then we have got another bullet down here. Remember, in a bulleted list, many times you need to be very keen to check the first letter, whether it is capitalized or not. Remember, there are marks for proper capitalization use of the correct case whenever you are typing an examination. Be keen on these small matters, because that's where many lose marks in. A biologist may want to understand the population of animal species. Biologist may want to understand the a geologist may want to study. I moved to another line. May want to study about building site areas, minerals deposits, and etc. We are going to do corrections thereafter. A hydrologist may be interested in water quality, land physiographic features, runoff, etc. Or no, runoff generation rather, etc. So that's the bulleted list or the numbered list. Then we do some corrections as we continue. This should be runoff. And then here now, we don't have a point E. So I want now to clear this point number E, and I want to make sure that the cursor gets back to the left margin. So I backspace once, nothing happens. I backspace twice. The cursor is not yet at the margin. You can see relative to the margin, the cursor is still inward. So I backspace again, backspace once more until I get the cursor in the right position. That is on the margin. Another mistake that people make is that after they come from a bulleted or a numbered list, they do not remember to take care of the cursor position. So that's another area where you are going to lose so many marks. And we are here to get as many marks as possible. All these professionals require data that relates to space, and typically involving positional data. Okay, period. Now positional data determines where things are, where they will be, where they will be in future. I have missed something there, where they will be in future, but I have not mentioned where they were, and where they will be in future, or will be in future. Yes, so that's another paragraph. Then below that, according to the paper there, you can see on the paper that I am showing on your left side of the screen, you can see there is that table which I want now to develop. So here I want to insert a table. Remember, to insert a table, you go through the menu of insert, then what? Table. This is a 3x4 table, meaning what? There are 3 columns, and then there are 4 rows. 3 columns, 4 rows. Confirm that with the structure we have on the left side. 3 columns, 4 rows. So that's the table I have designed. And now, if you take a keen look at the table structure we have on the left side, the top row is all merged. The top row is all merged. So I highlight the top row, the whole of it, then go to layout menu, and then I've got the merge cells button. I click on merge cells button, then type the title there. Questions are GIS can answer. Questions are GIS can answer. Then this content in this particular cell, what has been done, the content is shown in a font color white. So I'm on home ribbon, choose color white for the content. Then on table design menu, there is that shading button. Shade the cell with color black. And then I remember to center align the content, center align, and then bold. It's a heading, I bold. Then down here we've got A, B, and C, right? A, B, and C. And for visibility purposes, let me just zoom in so that you're able to follow the things that I'm going to mention here when formatting a table. The first column is quite narrow. So how do you adjust the width of a column when you are using Microsoft Word? You see, on the horizontal ruler, there are those shaded regions on the ruler. They indicate where the extent of every column. So like now, if I want to reduce the width of the first column, what will I do? Just drag the first shaded region here to have it narrow, like the way I have done. Then the second column will be determined by the width of the text that we are going to enter there. So we've got location, condition, and then we've got trends. Okay, so the extent of the width of the second column is determined by the longest word, which is condition. So again, I have dragged the shaded region to decrease the width of the second column. Then the questions are quite long. We have got what is at a given location. What is at a given location? Question mark. Second question, what are the locations? What are the locations where certain conditions are met? Another question mark. Then we have another one. What are the differences? The differences within an area over time. Within an area over time. Now the width of this last column will be determined by the longest statement that we have, and I believe it's the second one. So the last shaded region on the left, on the horizontal ruler, will guide us so that we can have the statement stretched like that. Now I've got my table already filled in. The only thing we have not done is shading. You can see the second row, that fourth row, they are shaded differently from what we have. They are shaded differently from what I have on my table. So what I do is to select the whole row, and then I click on cell shading, the one I want. Then I highlight the bottom row. I click on the shading color. I click on the shading color that I want. So there I am. I think for the table, as far as the table is concerned, it's like I'm already done. Now we do the next paragraph, which reads allocation. Allocation may be described using place name, comma, postcode, comma, or geographic reference, such as latitude, latitude stroke longitude, comma, or x and y coordinates, and may include, don't worry so much about the spelling mistakes. If I make any, we are going to deal with them. We are going to handle them thereafter. Location, where certain conditions are certified, such as there's a colon there, unforested, section measured in square units of area. Then there is a period there. Then distance from roads. Then with soils suitable for supporting buildings. Okay. Buildings. Now that section, I first handle the spelling mistakes that we have done, the two words that are misspelled there. This section has got bullets, and as you can see from the paper, let me zoom in the question paper so that you are able to follow where we are. The section we are in is where we have got two big square bullets, and then we have got two other circular bullets. What I'll do first is to handle the whole region, the selected text, to create the square bullets. So how do I achieve that? I'll go to home menu, and then I go to bullets, and then there are the square bullets already available. I don't know whether they are in the right size, but let me choose a new bullet, define new bullet, so that I can create my own quite large bullet, a square bullet, so that again you can understand where do we get these bullets from. So I'll choose symbol button, which will show me a list of so many symbols. Now guys, this is where confusion might come, because the computer might present you with symbols and you find like the symbol required is not appearing from the list of symbols that appear. But I want to give you a clue of where do you get more symbols. There are fonts which are just composed of symbols. One of them is called Webdings, and another one is called Wingdings. I want to check very quickly whether we get the square bullet from Webdings font. So I'm now in Webdings, and now I'm scrolling up, down to look for a square bullet, and I find it. It's already there. Then I click on OK. Then if you feel like the preview of the bullet gives you something smaller or bigger than what you expect, then you can always change the size by going to font. Go to font. I'll change this bullet to size 13, which I don't have in the list, so it will mean I'll have to type 13, and then after typing 13 I click on OK, and then OK again. So there I've got my big square bullets that I intended to have. Now line 2 and line 3 of the list does not have this bullet. It has got circular bullets. So to change from the current bullet that I have, the technique or the trick I'm going to use is from the paragraph tools on home menu, there is the increase indentation button. What will it give me? It gives me a circular bullet, but I don't want a circular without fill, but I want a circular bullet with fill color. So go to the bullets button and then choose the circular bullet with fill color. Notice we have two, but I want circular with fill color. Am I getting it right? I think so. I trust so. If you are following, now we are already done with that section. Then I go to the next paragraph, type it very, very fast. It does not have a bullet, so this one is just from the margin. Ensure the cursor is at where? At the left margin. Trends seek to find the differences. The differences, for example, in land. For example, in land use or elevations within an area of a period of time. Typing is almost over. What follows is a diagram that we have there at the bottom, which has got some blocks, and then there is a heading there. So that's now the one that I'm just about to deal with. So let me have you view the diagram, the image on the left panel, the left side of my screen. I show you the image so that as we develop it, you'll be able to follow. Functional components of a GIS. That's the heading I'm now typing. Functional components of a GIS. Functional components of a GIS. Guys, this text is bolded, and it's also center aligned. Don't forget those minor details. That is where marks will come from. If you are not able to identify these minor details, then you end up losing many marks. Now we do the image. This image is made up of several blocks, several text boxes that we are going to handle. And may I say this before we begin developing the drawing? Handling a drawing requires some caution, and I want to tell you what I normally do, or advise you as a student what you should do when handling such a drawing. Always remember step 1. If the drawing will be composed of several shapes, insert every shape inside a drawing canvas. How do I go about that? Insert menu, shapes tool, then new drawing canvas. Guys at the back, I believe you are following that. Insert menu, then shapes, then new drawing canvas. Now this is the rectangular representation of the drawing canvas that we are going to utilize to have every shape inserted here. So where are shapes? Again, on insert menu, the first shape is of course a rectangular text box where we have got the text, data input. I will not so much mind about the size for now until I am done with the whole design, and then thereafter now I'm going to organize my different items. So the next shape has got the word database. There are two other boxes at the bottom here. One is reading query and analysis. Then the other one is reading, another text box, which is reading output and visualization. Did I use Z or S? Let me use S as used on the paper. Very good. We have now the 4 shapes, but I realize data input is not too tall in terms of height. Then the font, remember the font. The font we shall use is what I said initially. In the paper, you'll always find the examiner will always use Times New Roman size 12. So that's what I have already said, Times New Roman size 12. And then the text is done what? Centered within the box. Okay. Another important thing that I would like you to always learn to use is the Format Painter tool on Home Ribbon. Now, what is the usefulness of this tool? I have already formatted text here. Data input, I have done what? Times New Roman is the font, size 12, and then center align. Now, instead of repeating all that into these other subsequent boxes, why can't I just copy that format over and over to these other 3 boxes? So with my text highlighted, I double click Format Painter tool, then I highlight database. See what happens? I highlight query and analysis. See what happens? Then I highlight output and visualization. So saves on time, saves on your time. Remember, in an examination, there is normally a saying which normally says in certain vernacular, the sun will never wait for a king. So always be very careful to utilize your time correctly. Now, I'm trying to shift these boxes to have them organized somehow. I'll first draw the lines that are linking the boxes. The boxes are linked using a block arrow. So that's under insert again, shapes, then block arrow. Which one? Block arrow, vertical two-headed arrow. Vertical two-headed arrow. Unaona, there we are, a vertical two-headed arrow. And then I'll reproduce this arrow by copy. I have pressed Ctrl-C shortcut, Ctrl-V for paste, Ctrl-C for copy, and Ctrl-V for paste, so that I will have identical arrows all over my drawing. Then copy again, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, pastes. I place another arrow here. I want my image, my drawing to be very well balanced, perfectly balanced, because on the paper it's also perfectly balanced. So if somebody else was able to do it, why should we also not do it? Now, the other thing that I notice on the paper, you look at the image, the borderline. The borderlines are very thick. The borderlines are very thick for each text box that we have. So therefore, I'm going also to do that in my case as well. So I'll click on the first text box, data input, and then hold down Shift. I want to select multiple objects. That's the reason why I'm holding the Shift key on my keyboard and then clicking on the second box, the third box, and the fourth box. What happens? You are able to select multiple shapes together. Then go to shape outline, then increase the weight from shape outline. What size do we use? Let me use a weight of 1.5 pt. 1.5 pt. What about the arrows? Select them, select the first one, again hold Shift, and then click on the second arrow, click the third arrow. That way, go to shape outline. The arrows are in black color. They do not have a fill color. So I say no fill color. So that means like my drawing is just nice, looking nice. And then what do? The drawing canvas is wasting a lot of unused space, right? So you can see wastage of all this space around the drawing canvas where our image is not actually requiring all that space. So what do? Resize the drawing canvas. Resize the drawing canvas so that it only fits the image that you have drawn. Okay, that's easy, is it not? And then thereafter, now the image is at the center. The reason I used the drawing canvas, you can see, like when I click on the center align button, everything moves, and that was the essence of us using a drawing canvas. Now let's quickly go through the work that we have done, and I want to have the paper on the left and then my work on the right side. Then you mark for me whether I have produced what the examiner expected me to produce. No, I've not finished, because the title of the document, the title here, purpose of a geographical information system, it's bolded. Then what else? It's also underlined. And then done what else? Center aligned. That's what I'm identifying there. Okay, then go through my work down, looking for anything that I have left unattended. Another thing that I have left unattended, which I suspect probably many may not be able to notice this, is the spacing after every paragraph. On the paper, I see like the examiner used wider gaps after every paragraph than what I have on my and in my work. So I'm going to increase the line spacing below every paragraph. So let me try to highlight all these paragraphs apart from the table. I highlight like that. Then where do we increase paragraph spacing at? Somebody should be telling me that I should go to home menu, then under paragraph settings window. And how do you display it? I click this tiny arrow here to display paragraph settings. I increase spacing after to 12 points, and also probably the spacing before to 12 points as well. So that adjusts the gaps between every paragraph. There is extra spacing that I'm having there. I'll also do it down here. I select this portion of text, go to paragraph setting again, then spacing before 12, spacing after 12. All right, spacing before paragraph, spacing after, I set it to 12. And I think that is done. That is done. What next? Haven't we done? Now I go to the question paper where we have got all the text. I'm just about to get into question B. Create a copy of the passage in a new blank document. Guys, listen carefully. Before you go to B, we have done all the activities in part A, but what haven't we done? We have not saved all those activities that we have done. We have not saved. So what will I do? I'll simply click on save button. Remember, we already have a file name for our document, GIS1, and I click save and confirm again by clicking on save. So that means all the modifications that I have already done to this file are already stored in GIS1. Now I am free now to go to part B. Part B now says create a copy of the passage in a new blank document, save it as GIS2. Very beautiful. Many people will say, now we need to copy paste. We need to copy paste. No, we don't require to do that. I'll simply go to file and then save as, browse to locate my location, which I created on the desktop. On the desktop, I created a folder called my index number. Sorry for that, and also for the noise that you hear around us. My index number was 901. I opened that folder and I'm finding my GIS1 is already there, but now this file should be called GIS2. GIS2. Very good. Already done part B. Part C says perform each of the following on the document. Roman 1. Format the passage title as follows. Font size 20, and then you apply an outline effect. Okay, so here I am. A font size for the heading, that's the heading, font size 20. There we are. Now outline style or outline effect may differ from the application you are using, the version you are using, to what I am using. I'm using Microsoft Word version 2016. So for me to achieve that, I'm going to click the text effects tool here on home menu. Then from the preset settings, I'm going to pick one which shows outline. So like now this basic one, But now the challenge is that it is showing blue color. The examiner or my computer teacher may not provide me a printer which may print in blue color. So I'm going to make sure that the text that I have is in black color. So font color, black. Font color, black. Then what about fill? What about fill? I think I need to go back there and I check outline, choose color, black. But now there is a fill color. So again, it's like I'm going to repeat the whole process. Go to text effects, choose outline. Then under outline, text effects button again, outline, I pick the black color. I think now it's done. Yes, now it is outlined. The title is outlined, so half a mark there and then half a mark for outline. Then down, Roman 2, apply 2 lines drop cap to the first 2 characters in of the first paragraph. I've never had a scenario where the examiner requires us to use 2 characters for a drop cap in word processing. Though that is very possible in DTP, but let's check, let's confirm. So this is the paragraph, guys. This is our first paragraph, which starts with people want to understand and so on. So my cursor needs to be anywhere within that paragraph. Then I go to insert menu. Then under insert, we have got so many text tools here. I will choose the one I need now. I need the drop cap tool. Then I'll choose dropped. But when I choose dropped, how is the behavior? My drop cap comes as dropped 3 lines. But the examiner is very careful to tell me 2 lines. Then, therefore, I have no option but to choose drop cap options. Drop cap options. Then from there, pick dropped tool. And then how many lines? 2 lines. 2 lines. Lines to drop, 2 lines. Now, unfortunately, in Microsoft Word, I've never seen that option of counting the number of characters to be dropped. So that is an area where we might not score fully, but it is not our fault. But the examiner probably had not done the paper to test with versions of Microsoft Word to see that it's impossible to drop two characters simultaneously in Microsoft Word. But we cannot waste the whole day there struggling to do it. Let's go next to the next item in the question paper. Apply an indent format to the listed, numbered and bulleted lists of size 3 from the left and 1.5 from the right. So that's about indentation. Left 3 cm, right 1.5. So remember that. So we've got this portion here, which is the numbered list. From the right side, the examiner wants us to leave a gap of 1.5. And then from the left, the examiner wants us to leave a gap of 3 centimeters. So let's do it from home ribbon. We go to paragraph settings tool, and indentation is right here. Indentation is right here with us. I choose left indent, make it 3 centimeters. Okay. Then remember, we are kind of going to encounter a scenario where we shall require to choose hanging indentation, but let's first verify the behavior of this paragraph. So left indentation 3 and right indentation 1.5 centimeters. 1.5 centimeters. What's the behavior? Now the first line indent is at 3, and then there is the hanging indent marker has been pushed inward. So I think that is perfect. We have done what the examiner wanted us to do. Also from the right side, you can see we have also achieved that. We have left a gap of 1.5. Then the bulleted part, this part here, same procedure, highlight, then go to paragraph settings, left indentation. We have mixed mixed settings for the left indentation because we have some text starting from 0.63 and then the other portion is starting inward a bit. But I'll set 3 centimeters from the left and then 1.5 centimeters from the right. Then say okay. There's a mess. Now this is what I was anticipating to find, but guys, this is what you can do when you find yourself in such a case. I don't know whether you know the meaning of these symbols that I am pointing on your horizontal ruler. The first one, the first on top here, is indicating the first line indentation. So where do we want it to be at? At 3 centimeters. At 3 centimeters. Then what about the other portion? The hanging indentation. I want to drag it also. Probably have it positioned at the 3.5 centimeters. 3.5 centimeters. And that is for the whole of this portion as well. So what has been shifted wrongly, we try to fix it again by having the first indent marker in its rightful position, and then the hanging indent marker to move inward just slightly. But remember, the right side, I think everything is perfectly done. That one was not interfered with. So part Roman 4, Roman 3 is already done. We go to Roman 4. Apply each of the following to the bulleted and numbered lists again. Okay. Line spacing 1.5, 2 marks, and justified alignment for 2 marks as well. So I highlight the bulleted list. I highlight the bulleted list down here. Bulleted list down here. And then justify alignment. That's the button on home ribbon. Justified alignment. Line spacing is just next to justify alignment, 1.5. That's what the examiner wants. It is already done. We go to the next portion, the numbered list. Justify alignment. See justification. There we can see the effect because our sentences, our lines are a bit longer. Then line spacing 1.5. Zoom out so that you can see the effect of that. I think it's already done. Very good. It's already done. Now, next question. Apply 2 columns layout with a line between. Okay, 2 columns layout with a line between. The first column should contain the information between the table structure and the subheading functional components of GIS. The second column should contain the rest of the information from the functional components of a GIS. That's for 3 marks. So I guess you are understanding. Please read again. You can pause the video and read this long passage there explaining the activity to be done. But simply it's like this. From where I am pointing at, going forward to where the diagram is at, the examiner would want us to create a 2-column layout. 2 columns layout. Then I just need to highlight the whole of that section, right? I have highlighted, then go to layout menu, then I choose columns button, and because I'll require to add an effect which is not available from the items available in the list, I'll choose more columns so that I can have some more settings in this window. So 2 columns is what we want to have. Then line between, that's why we have used the option of more columns to get this window, so that we choose line between. Then a line between, I can decrease a bit the width between the 2 columns, and then I say okay. Our work may appear a little bit confused if we leave it like that, because the examiner, again, I wonder whether they had tried to apply all these formats and then see the result that we are getting. So what I'll do, I'm going to push the whole of this block from where my cursor is at. Going forward, I want to have this text appearing on the next page. So how do I achieve that? When the cursor is at the place where I want to break a page at, I go to layout menu, choose breaks, and then I choose insert a page break. Layout menu, breaks, page break. And there we are done. There we are done. So I now have got the second page, and things appear like I have got a very narrow column, only one column. But remember, the diagram here is what was to be pushed to the next column. So how do we achieve that? I'm going to have the cursor next to functional components of GIS on the left. Then on layout menu still, I go to breaks and then insert a column break, a column break. Now I've got my two columns, column 1, column 2. Is it not smart? Those 3 marks, I already have them. Okay. Now convert the table structure to text separated by tab characters. Another area which if you have been using version 2016, I think there is normally a challenge when you try to convert a table to text. Let's see why I'm saying so. To convert table to text, this is our table. Select the table very easily by clicking the compass, which normally appears when the cursor is hovering on the table. Click the compass, the whole table is selected. Then we do that by choosing a layout menu, then you go to convert to text. So this is why I'm saying sometimes when you are using version 2016, some of these items might be a little bit hidden, but I believe now you can see where we are getting that. Table tools, layout menu, then convert to text. What? We want to convert the table to text, and the examiner has said we separate the text using tabs. We separate the text using tabs. And that's where we are now. What has disappeared? The text that was in color white, now we need to take care of that. Because remember, what was making the text to appear is because the cell was shaded black. But now we have to take care of the heading. So I'm on home ribbon where I apply black color to the text that is in the heading. So far, so good. So that's our table already converted to text. Then next item, apply each of the following to the structure chart that you drew. Group all objects of the drawing, shadow effects to the grouped object, then an automatically numbered caption with the text components of GIS. 3 activities in the same chart that we drew. So go to the chart very fast. We want to group the many boxes, many items used. So how? I click the first box, hold shift, click an arrow, click another box, click. So shift is for what? Allowing me to select multiple objects. So once you are so sure that everything has been selected, I'm zooming in so that you can see everything now is selected. I go to shape format menu and then I click on group tool, which gives me a sub menu, and then I talk about group again. Then shadow is what I want to have in the drawing. Shadow effect is what I want to have in my drawing. In my drawing, we want to apply what? Shadow effect. So I go to drawing tools again. Then this is where we have got shape effects and a shape format. Then choose shadow, and then we are not told which shadow to use, so there it is at your discretion. Which shadow do you want to apply? Just apply any that is appealing to you. Don't struggle so much to try to think about where do the shadow appear and so on. As long as you can see there is a shadow pattern behind your images, you're good to go. You have answered the question. And what else? Then we have got part E. Enter your name and your index number at the page footer aligned to the right. Good. Footer section. So how do we insert footers? Somebody to remind us very quickly. We go to insert menu, then footer, then we get this list, drop down list of footers, but we don't want to use any of the preset footers, so choose edit footer. Edit footer, so that we can have our home menu. We click right align menu, right align tool, and then we say our name is Mr. Teacher. Teacher's name. You put your name there, of course. You are going to use your name. You are not going to use my name, isn't it? So index number, put there. 901 is my index number. That's what I'm typing. Remember to type your own index number. We are not told what to do with that text, whether to bold, whether to italicize. We are not told. So I leave it at that, and then go to header footer menu, and then I close the header or footer. I've got a footer on my 2 pages. Carry on very quickly. Apply a page border line of width 3 pt. That is, each page to be surrounded with a border of 3 points. So where do we need to be? Anywhere on your document. You need to be anywhere on your document. Then it's available in version 2016. It's available on layout. Is it layout? No, on design. Is it design menu? That is where we've got page borders as the very last icon. Go there, choose page borders. So what type? A continuous line, the one selected. The thickness is what we are changing to 3 points. The thickness, which is the width, to 3 points. Guys, here be careful, because you may end up not having a border at all. On the left side of the window that are moving around, there is the box tool. So click it, click the box tool. After selecting the border style, the border width, click on the box tool, and after that you can now click on OK. So my pages now have got the border. Now they have got the border that we want. Then what else? Apply automatic uppercase Roman page numbering at the top center of the page. Automatic uppercase Roman page numbering at the top center of the page. So I go to the top. I don't need to go to the top of anything, but I need to mention here that we are going to have 2 steps to achieve that. 2 steps that we are going to follow to achieve insertion of capitalized or uppercase Roman numbers. Step number 1. We are going to go to insert menu, then choose page number, and then format page numbers. Okay, step 1 is formatting the page number that we want. We want to use Roman capital. That's the format. So that will not make the numbers appear automatically. So that's step 1. Step 2 is making these numbers appear. So still from insert menu, I go to page number. Where do we want these page numbers to appear? At the top of the page, center aligned. There I've got my first Roman number. I can choose to go to the next because I suspect my document has got 2 sections. You may wonder, why do I know that it has got 2 sections? When I created a break, I created a section. And also again, when I created a new column, an insert column break, then I also inserted a section. So I need to take care now of the page numbering that is appearing on the second page. The first page is okay. It's a capital Roman number. But the second page is having an ordinary number. I don't know what we call them. So let's go to insert menu. Then choose page number, then format page number again I pick on capitalized Roman numbers. Capitalized Roman numbers. Now, do I have Roman II? Yes, I do. Close the header section once done, which I am already done. Now, I feel I'm almost concluding. Yes, because that's the last activity. Because the next activity is saving the changes and later printing each of the documents. I've just remembered there was a place in the chat where we were told to add a caption. I only remembered to group the shapes, the shadow effects, but I did not add a caption, components of GIS. So that's the last thing that I'll do. And where is our chart? Our chart is here. So the reason why we used a drawing canvas is to make some of these activities become very easy. I'm going to right click the border of the drawing canvas, and there I have got the option of insert caption. Insert caption. Don't interfere with what you find there. Figure 1, you may put a pale. Don't interfere with it, only add a colon and then type the text that the examiner wants. Components of a GIS. Components of GIS. Is it of a GIS? Components of GIS, whatever it is. And then we click OK. There is our caption. We were told to save our document. Save our document. This is GIS2. Remember, at the time I was shifting from GIS1, I already created GIS2. So what remains now is to update the changes made in GIS2 by saving the document, Now finally, can I talk about printing? Yes, I can. Which is the last exercise that you'll do after the 2.5 hours are over. You'll require to print out your work. Everybody knows how to print, I believe. But to just remind the guys at the back, this is what you do. Go to File menu with the file already opened. The file that you want to print should be opened. Then you go to File menu, choose Print. Yes, print is there. Then you are presented with a print menu. In this print menu, there are things that you must always be conversant with. What printer is connected, or did our computer teacher present us with? You must know it by its name. So in the case where you have got so many printers, like in my case, you need to go to the printer that you are going to use, check the name, come pick the printer that you want to use. Many times it might be online. You can see, because I'm not connected to any printers for now, that's why my list I'm finding all printers are offline. So you pick the relevant printer, and then after that, I don't think there is anything else that you need to do, because we started well. We started by setting the paper size, so don't change that. We started by setting the margins, don't change that. You only now need to hit the button print. You hit the button print, and there you go. There's nothing else to be done. You just wait for the paper to be produced on the printer. And as you are waiting, don't just waste your time. You should be opening the next document so that you can also print it. Guys, that's what I wanted us to discuss. I am happy that now you know how you could have tackled 2021 question 1. And I want to wish you the very best in your revision time. God bless you. Keep you safe till we meet again for yet another video. Thank you very much.